Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition is the updated version of the 2004 original, which was notorious, but also praised for its extremely challenging level of difficulty. This new version is available at a budget price. It's essentially just the greatest hits version of the game, and just judging from the cover, you can barely even tell the difference between the new game and the original version. And yet, actually, there turn out to be quite a few substantial changes in terms of how the gameplay actually unfolds. Most notably, there's a new playable character in the game. You can play through the different missions as Virgil, Dante's wicked twin brother. And also, the difficulty level has been pretty significantly readjusted, so not only is the game itself definitely easier than before, whether you play on normal or the easy difficulty, it's definitely just quite a bit easier to hack and fight your way through. But on top of that, there's a new optional continue system that's just a lot more lenient than the punishing and occasionally confusing continue system from the original game. So the big question is, does that make Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition better than the original game? And the answer is, well, not necessarily. If you already enjoyed Devil May Cry 3 and really relished how tough that game was, then you might be kind of put off by the fact that they backpedaled a little bit and made this game easier. On the other hand, this game is now absolutely easier to recommend to people who might normally be put off by a game that's supposedly stupefyingly hard, and the new content definitely is pretty cool, and it should appeal both to people who haven't played Devil May Cry 3 before, as well as to those who are pretty serious fans. If you've never played Devil May Cry 3 before, any version of it, then you need to finish the game as Dante, go through the original storyline first and foremost before you can unlock most of the new content. However, if you have any Devil May Cry 3 save data on your memory card, so even if you've just started playing the original Devil May Cry 3, then Virgil and the Bloody Palace and some of the other stuff is going to be unlocked right from the get-go. Actually, though, in that case, you should still definitely play through the game as Dante first and foremost, because one of the things you'll notice when playing as Virgil is that the storyline is essentially stripped out of the game. There's really no story continuity anymore, because Virgil just goes through the same locations and the same battles as Dante, so there's definitely a missed opportunity for the story to be told from a totally different perspective. The entire presentation of Devil May Cry 3 still holds up really well. It's really unchanged since the original release of the game, but this is still a great-looking PS2 game, and it's got a great heavy metal soundtrack and stuff like that. But it's really the underlying action that makes this game as fun as it is. There's a really well-developed fighting system in here that invites you to use a whole bunch of different weapons all in sequence and pop your enemies into the sky, beat them up in the air, knock them down, keep hitting them while they're down, basically just thrash everything around you really hard. The core underlying fighting in Devil May Cry 3 is still the best part about it, and that's why the new survival mode can be pretty cool to hardcore fans, because it just strips out all the backtracking, all the occasional puzzle-solving bits, and just throws you into one fight after another. So, yeah, there are definitely some concessions in here to the hardcore fans. There's a new very hard difficulty mode, but you have to unlock all this stuff. It's not available right from the get-go, so if you just play through the storyline, it's going to be easier than before, and therefore maybe not quite as intensely, kind of cathartically satisfying as the original Devil May Cry 3 was. The bottom line is, regardless of whether you have any previous experience playing Devil May Cry 3 before, the new Special Edition definitely has something to offer you. Then again, this isn't necessarily the end-all be-all version of Devil May Cry 3, because the high level of challenge of the original as compared to this version, not that this one's easy or anything, that really set the original version apart from the pack and gave that game something really distinctive about it, whereas this game presents a much more reasonable challenge that more players are going to be able to appreciate, but those of us who fought our way through the original game will kind of turn up our noses a little bit. Then again, there's definitely a lot of cool new content in here. Being able to play as Dante's brother Virgil is definitely pretty cool. Some of the new options do feel a little bit tacked on, but there's still enough just new stuff in here to make it justifiable even to those of us who've played the hell out of the original game.